everyone, good evening. Lucia from Docsity. I welcome you to this free webinar organized in partnership with BI Norwegian to talk about the opportunities for international students at BI Norwegian business. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for everyone to join. All the participants who registered start to join this webinar. Thank you very much for being here with us today, and welcome. We'll have tonight with us Kristine Sydhagen, Senior Coordinator of the International Marketing and Recruitment. And we also have Aditya Sinha, who is a Master in Business Analytics, graduated in 2022. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. My name is Lucia. I will be the presenter tonight on behalf of Docsity, and we are organizing this free webinar in partnership with BI Norwegian Business School to talk about all the opportunities for international students in this renowned business school of Norway. So let me just wait a couple of minutes. I see more people is joining. Right here below on the Zoom menu, you will find the chat box. There you're free to say hi and to let us know where you're connecting from. We are expecting a lot of students from a lot of countries around the world, so feel free to say hi. And then during the presentation, you can start writing your questions on the Q&A box. You will find right here below in the Zoom menu, and we will answer them all at the end of the presentation at the Q&A section. So thank you very much for being here tonight with us. Bear with us for a couple of minutes until we see more participants join in. My name is Lucia. On behalf of Docsity, I welcome you to this free webinar organized in partnership with BI Norwegian Business School to talk about all the opportunities for international students in this renowned school, this renowned business school of Norway. Tonight with us, we will have Kristine Sydhagen, who's a Senior Coordinator in International Marketing and Recruitment, and also Aditya Sinha, Master of Science in Business Analytics, graduated in 2022 from BI Norwegian School. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here with us tonight. I see, hi all, hello. You can let us know where you're joining from. We're expecting students from all around the world, and I remind you that right here below you will find the Q&A box. You can start writing your questions right there, and we'll be happy to answer them all at the end of the presentation on the Q&A section. So just one more minute, and we will be starting this free webinar organized by Docsity in partnership with BI Norwegian Business School. Tonight with us, we will have Kristine Sydhagen, Senior Coordinator of the International Marketing and Recruitment, and Aditya Sinha, Master of Science in Business Analytics from BI Norwegian Business School, graduated in 2022. Thank you very much for everyone who is joining this presentation. So if our speakers are ready to start, are we ready? Kristine, Aditya, okay, I'll leave you the floor, and to all our participants, enjoy the presentation.
Thank you very much, Lucia. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're very happy to connect with you. And hopefully you'll learn something new today about wonderful Norway and wonderful BI, I guess. Today, my name is Kristine, and I am from the Marketing and Recruitment department at BI. And today I have with me a former student. He just graduated, and you'll hear his story as well today, which I think is going to be very exciting for you. Aditya has agreed to join us today, so we're excited to hear his story. I'll start the presentation now. If you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So just in the Q&A box, if you wouldn't mind leaving your questions there, we'll be happy to answer them. So first of all, hopefully you know a little bit about Norway already. There are many reasons why you should come to Norway. Here are just a few of them. Norwegian values. We always like to talk about Norwegian values, about the commitment to sustainability, both in the work life, but also in our, in society at large. Equality in culture and in workplace, which is, it's very, very important. Work-life balance, the Scandinavian leadership model, which is very somewhat or very different than the leadership model in many other countries or parts of the world. It's a very flat structure. It's a model where everyone has something, you know, to say. You have the right to have an opinion in the workplace and to have a very meaningful discussion with your managers. So it's a very flat structure. Hopefully Aditya can attest to that later. Also, Norway has very high-ranked quality education, both in the public sector and in the private sector, where BI is very, very, very good quality. And also, we are ranked one of the happiest and best countries to live in. And that's just not just because we're very happy people, but just because we have a very strong system that takes care of us should anything happen. So strong economy, strong social welfare system. So, and these are things that you as a student will be able to benefit from. Moreover, it's a beautiful country. I have very nice pictures here, I guess, but these are places that you are actually able to see when in Norway. It is beautiful. It's clean. Our cities are very clean. It's very small and compact to a lot of other, you know, countries and cities. It's very safe. I have to stress that as well. Strong, stable economy. Even through crisis, we've been able to sustain a very strong economy. Very low unemployment. English is widely spoken. We like to consider ourselves an English-speaking destination. You don't have to know Norwegian in order to live in Norway. You will get very far with English. Stunning nature, as I said. Lots of opportunities to do outdoor activities. Even in the big cities, just outside the big cities, you'll have the ocean, the forest. So lots of green, fresh air. Or green spaces and fresh air. And I also like to stress that it's affordable for students, considering Norway is a high-cost country. A lot of discounts for students, the government subsidizes a lot for students. So student housing is subsidized, transportation is subsidized. So it's quite affordable for students. Just a little bit about the cities where we have campuses for international students. So in total, BI has 4 campuses. 2 of them we offer programs for internationals, or programs in English, I should say. First, it's Oslo, which is the capital city of Norway. Around 700 to 1 million inhabitants in Oslo, depending on how you count it. It is a port city surrounded by forests and lakes, and as I said, very compact, small. I call it a small big city. And then we have Bergen, where we also have a couple of master programs in English. It's the regional capital on the west coast. I think it's a smaller city. It's around 300,000 people living in Bergen, so it's quite a bit smaller, but it's a great student city. Lots of students in the public system, or public universities, and also at BI. And it's also a port city. A lot of the cities in Norway are along the coast. And it's surrounded by mountains. So it's a beautiful, beautiful city as well. And then over to why BI Norwegian Business School. So there are many reasons why you should choose Norway, but there are also many reasons why you should choose BI. We are a triple crown school, so a triple accredited school. Only 1% of business schools around the world have a triple accreditation. We are one of Europe's top universities. We're also the second largest business school. So we have a lot of students on campus in total, or on our campuses in total, we have around 20,000 students. on all levels, from bachelor to PhD to executive programs. It's very modern. This is a picture from the entrance of the coming into the campus. So it is a very modern, bright campus. And we have faculty is around 30% of our faculty are international. So many faculties from outside of Norway, also a lot of Norwegian faculty having education from abroad. So it's a very international feel on campus. Represent students from around 75 countries represented at BI. So you'll meet students from all over the world. We don't really have one group of students or one nation standing out. It's a good mix of students from Europe and from all over the world. We always like to talk about, you know, the success stories of our students, like why there's a reason why you invest in a degree, if it's a bachelor or a master, and that's to get, you know, good employment. And Aditya will talk more about that later in the presentation, but around 74% or 74% of our international graduates landed jobs before their graduation, before they actually completed their degree, which is a very high number. About 82% of our international students worked part-time or had internships while studying. So our international students are very much part of work life early on in their degree, or in their journey, I should say. And yeah, as it says, 9 out of 10 international graduates land a job within 6 months of graduation. So that's a very, very high number again. And this is just proof that our graduates are very attractive on the job market. So let's get into what we actually offer. So we have quite a few master degrees. The master degrees that I talk about and the bachelor degrees that I talk about today are 100% in English. You don't have to know any Norwegian to enter into these programs. So here we have a list of our programs. So we have a good mix of business, we have finance, marketing, we have data science and business analytics, which are more technical, and also quantitative finance, more technical degrees geared towards students perhaps with a more quantitative background, so perhaps in statistics, mathematics, engineering, for example. And then we also have more the softer programs, but also connected to business. So anything that we do will be connected to business somehow. So for example, leadership and organizational psychology, marketing, as I mentioned, digital communication management, for example. So we have a good mix of programs for students with a variety of backgrounds. In Campus Oslo, we offer, all of the programs are offered in Oslo. So all of the programs in the previous slides, you can attend in Oslo. The Master of Science in Business is our largest program. So it's also the broadest program that we have, where students choose a major, and the majors are listed here. And again, they vary from finance, accounting, leadership and change, marketing, supply chain and operational management. So it's a variety of majors that you can choose in the program. In Campus Bergen, here we have a picture of Aditya again. He's not in one of these programs, but he's a poster boy nonetheless. In the Campus Bergen, in Bergen, we offer 2 programs. So we offer the MSc in Business with Finance, And then we also offer the MSc in Leadership and Organizational Psychology, the specialized master. So these two programs are offered in both campuses. As for the bachelor degree, I hope we have some bachelor students here as well, or pursuing aspiring bachelor students as well.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. And we have all of these programs are offered in Oslo and only in Oslo for the time being. We have 3 programs. We have a Bachelor of Business Administration, which is a general business program that you will find all around the world, with some differences, some cultural differences, I guess, and regional differences. Then we have a program, a Bachelor of Data Science for Business, which is quite a quantitative program. It doesn't necessarily, you don't have to have a quantitative background for this, as you do for the masters, but this is a good way if you're starting your quantitative route. This could be a way to go. We also have a Bachelor in Digital Business, which is sort of it's a mix between the two of them, so you get a little bit of both in digital business. So these 3 programs are offered in English. We also have a pathway program for students who are missing English skills, who are missing a year before they can enter into university. We have a pathway program with university or Jönköping University in Sweden. If anyone's interested in that, please, reach out to us after the presentation, and we'll be happy to guide you through what you need in order to enter the programs. The master programs are 2 years. The bachelor programs are 3 years. So just I'm just throwing this slide in here. This is our website. Unless you haven't already been into the website, please go into the website. There is a lot of information on our website about the programs and also about the school and about being an international student. My last slide before we go into the more exciting bit about talking to Aditya, just some good to know tips and tidbits, some information. Application deadline for international students is March 1st. This is a priority deadline. It is possible to apply after March 1st, but we do encourage you to apply as soon as you can, so we can get you through the process. It's an online application, no application fee. We guarantee housing for international students, so you don't have to look for housing yourself. We will help you with that process. You can work as an international student. You can work part-time up to 20 hours per week. Salaries are around 170 to 200 Norwegian kroners per hour. When you are a student, you are covered by the National Health Insurance Scheme when you are a full-time student, so you don't have to have a very expensive insurance for the length of your stay, which is good to know. So should anything happen to you, you will be taken care of our good public system. Hopefully you don't need it, but just in case. Classes start mid-August, so we start preparatory courses for the master programs. Usually they can start end of July. So you have to be prepared to kind of move to Norway around end of July. And then the school year ends mid-June, and then you're off for a couple of months. So that's just some good to know information. I think I will mute now, Aditya, and we'll go over to your presentation.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. Great presentation, first of all, Christina. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me today in the panel. So today I'll be talking about my journey and my experience from India to Norway. However, before beginning to that, I can just give you an overview. So you already know my name by now, but it's Aditya Sinha. I'm from India, born and brought up in Begusarai, Bihar. I had my bachelor's in mechanical engineering in India itself, and I worked 1.5 years as in a startup in India. After that, I moved to Norway. So maybe to the next slide, Christina. Perfect. So I arrived in Oslo on 7th of August 2020. So COVID was on its full hit and everything was like shutting down. So I got one flight to get to Oslo from India and I took that luckily. So press, yeah, here are some pictures from Norway. So all the things which Christina mentioned about the beautiful Norway, this is only Oslo for now, but trust me, like all over Norway is amazing. Picture all photographic around. And yeah, let's move to the next one. So this is where you all are interested about the academics and the work. So starting with my degree, it was in business analytics. So I did my master's for 2 years. And here are few of the coursework here. You don't have to go through it. The idea of this was to categorize it into three categories. The first one was, can you press the button, Christina? Yes. So the first one is the tools. Second one is the analysis or the analytics. And the third is application. So what does this mean was the BI have structured the course in a way where I got the basic hands-on about the tools and then got the advanced practice with the tools, including the machine learning and better visualization techniques, and then applying it to the specialization or electives which we can select or any subject matter in that case. So also, if you will go through the website, you'll find a number of electives to select from. My electives were in supply chain and quantitative risk and asset management, both mostly finance. But the idea was all the courses more or less are structured in a similar way that you get a hands-on experience of the tools and then you get to apply that. Now I'll show you how or where I applied it. So moving on to the next slide. So first semester, I was only studying, focused, and then from my second semester, that is from January 2021 onwards, I started working as a data analyst in a company called DB. It's a Norwegian company. It's a scale-up company, not in a full size, but they manufacture bags, like a bag which you see in the picture on the bottom left. And I worked there for around 5 months and then moved as a summer intern at Yara. Here, this is also another Norwegian company, but it's a global company. It's based all over the world and they manufacture fertilizers. The third was DNV, where I did my BI internship. So as a student in a master's, you have to do an internship in BI. And this was along with my course, but also I was offered part-time after that. So I worked a little longer there. And then finally, I was working as a data analyst at Pharmacia, where they offered me a full-time job also. And the part-time was from April to May, but however, I also got an offer at Yara as a full-time position where I'm currently working. Moving on to the next slide. Now the extracurricular. So this thing was a little tricky as because of the COVID, everything was shutting down and there are a lot of options, which I see now. When I see the pictures, I'm missing out on those things. However, I still got some chance to do something. As a member or as studying business analytics, I was already a member of Business Analytics Association, where I got to see like a lot of companies came in and where we got to do a lot of collab projects with them. For example, there was a BCG, Cognite, and even Yara was over there. And other than that, I was also the member of BISO Invest. So giving you an overview of BISO. BISO is BI Student Organization. They have a lot of clubs. However, this one was really interesting to me because they invest the real student fund into the market. And of course, we try to make profit. So I started there as a junior analyst and ended my term as a risk analyst. On side, also BI offer really subsidized courses on Norwegian, so you can learn language with your studies. So I did my course on A1 over there. And now moving to the next slide. So hobbies, which I developed in Oslo. So being in India, you don't really cook as a student. I'm not sure about other countries, but coming here, I was like, damn, I'm missing my food. So I started to learn from YouTube, calling my mom, and finally ended up making pretty good food for me and for my friends. And second was playing guitar. So this I picked up in the student housing where I was living. So there were other students who were studying music in the flat. So with the help of them, I was picking up few strings here and there. But yes, these were my hobbies. And moving on to the next slide, we'll take up the questions now. So that was it from my side.
Can I quickly, Aditya, can you just explain, can you talk about a typical, when you were a student, I know you were a student during COVID, so it was a little bit special, but perhaps in your second year, but like a typical day for you as a student.
So it was different for different semester that I can confirm that because there were times when the classes were open, sometimes it was hybrid, and most of the time it was online. So the classes are not all day that I can confirm. So there are a few subjects, not all the subjects happen in all the days. So you will get the lectures will happen, and then there are like some subjects needed lab sessions. For example, the tools which I showed in the coursework. So those were happening, and after the studies or during the studies, in around that you can also pursue your part-time job in the middle, and after that you cook for yourself and spend time with your friends, party a little, and then go back to sleep.
Thank you. It's a typical student life, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing crazy about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, Kristine or Aditya, if you'd like to add something before we start with the questions, answering the questions.
I don't have anything more to add, but I just one more for Aditya. Did you travel in Norway at all while you were a student or after you've completed your studies?
Yes, I did travel. I traveled a few of the cities around, and I actually got to see the Northern Lights in Trondheim. So, been to Trondheim, been to Fredrikstad, and been to Lillehammer. So, and these I traveled during when I was a student. So, you still get all with your studies and part time. You will get time to travel around.
Good. Because I think that's part of being a student as well, is to experience the country where you live or where you study.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, and I guess the Northern Lights in Norway is something very unique, right? You can see it.
That's a must to see the Northern Lights.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so we already have a few questions, actually very interesting questions. Thank you very much to all our participants. If something else comes up to any of you, just feel free to write your questions in the Q&A box that you will find right here on the Zoom menu, and we'll make sure to try to answer in the time we have to all of them. So we have the first question here is, what will be the average base salary after completing a master's or an MBA from BI Norwegian Business School, especially after a business analytics program? I don't know, Kristine and Aditya, if this is something.
Sure. So it varies obviously from contract to contract, company to company. We're not going to ask Aditya to disclose his salary, but because he's particularly a student. But I think according to our our research, or when we talk to students, I think for the master program it's around 520 NOK, Norwegian kroners-ish, as a start off, and that's around 52,000 euros per year, and then bonuses and everything comes in addition, obviously. So, but our experience is also that students they advance quite quickly, both in their careers and in their salary. After they get their first job, so that's sort of the starting average, I guess.
Yeah. Just to add on that, so as a master student in Norway, anyway, you're supposed to get your salary above 450,000 NOK. And all my friends, which when I look around, like that's the number to confirm, it's around 520-ish for all my friends around. They have got the salaries around that, so that is a quite accurate average.
Yeah, good.
Okay, thank you very much for your insights on this. Okay, another question. I think Aditya could answer that this as well. For India, the criteria states that we need 1 year of college. Could you please elaborate on the eligibility for India students? So maybe
I can actually answer that one.
Okay.
So it depends. So I'm not sure if that's for bachelor or for masters, but for bachelor, yes, if you're from India, or not just India, actually most countries outside of Western Europe, you need 1 extra year of university before you start our bachelor program. So assuming this is a student asking for the bachelor program.
Okay.
The Norwegian system is we have 13 years of school, and then we have 3-year bachelor and 2-year master. So in many countries you have 12-year school. So they're missing that 1 year. So it's not, so it's not just for India, but it's most countries outside Europe actually.
Okay, thank you very much, Kristine. Of course, especially if you're an international student, is always good to start informing, getting information in advance, because the sooner the better. There are a lot of bureaucracy and things to take care of. So the sooner the better, right? And
also just get in touch with us if you have very specific question to your situation. Just send us an email at info@bo.no, and we'll be happy to help you with any question that you have.
Okay, another question which is similar to the previous one. Is it possible to apply after completing a grade 12 CBSE in India?
So that's the English system. I'm not 100% sure. So this is a very specific question again. So I don't want to say anything wrong. So I'm gonna have to ask you to contact us. What I can do is, because I don't mind, it's not that many. So in the chat I will leave my email address so they can contact me directly.
So you can see any specific case, particularly,
and
you get specific information. Okay, thank you very much, Kristine. You will find in just a minute all the information on the chat. Yeah,
so my email is on the chat right now. So so any very specific questions about your admission or your situation, you can email directly to me.
Okay. Yes, maybe the same situation for another participant, which is asking, can a student who's completing the 12th grade in April 2023 apply for an undergraduate program? I guess it will depend also of the country and on the certificate and everything. So also for the student, you can write an email to Kristine Sydhagen at BI.no. We have more questions. Hi, I am a graduate architecture student. I would like to ask whether I am eligible to apply for any of the programs since I do not have a similar background. Thank you.
I would probably say no. If you are interested in transitioning into the field of business, I would probably advise you to take another bachelor degree, to be honest, because it is very, very different. We don't really have, maybe other business schools have, but we don't really have any programs that are compatible for students with an architect background, unfortunately. But we can admit you into our bachelor programs, no problem.
Okay. Yes, many people start doing another bachelor degree when whether they decide to take another path in their careers.
And that's no problem.
That's no problem. Okay, so we do have some other question. There was one question over here. Okay. Hi, are there any masters of international relations or anything relating to it?
No. So we have the master programs that I showed on in the presentation. I guess international relations, the closest that we would have is the MSc in business with the major, but we don't really have anything in politics or international relations, unfortunately.
Okay, but the business is oriented to an international.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all of our programs are basically, but I think, but the MSc in business is the most general program that we have, which you can kind of shape a little bit how you like it yourself, choosing courses that are suitable for you. So, but if it's very specific international relations that you're interested in, then we probably won't have a program for you, unfortunately.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much,
Mm-hmm.
Kristine. So we have a question for Aditya. As someone who completed their undergraduate degrees entirely in India, did it pose any difficulties for you to adjust to the educational structure at BI?
Not really, nothing as such, but the only thing is anywhere you go, bachelor's and master's are a little different in the coursework that you will find, but as a student, it's like it's completely fine. You'll not have any kind of problem with that. That's what it means.
Okay, thank you very much, Aditya. Okay, the questions just keep coming in. Thank you very much to all our participants. If something comes up, you can always keep adding to this long list. Okay, here we have another question. I will be completing my undergraduate in May 2023. So am I eligible for a master's degree? Maybe the wisest thing would be to send an email to Kristine. Am I right, Kristine?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you're completing it now. Most of the students that enter into our master programs complete their bachelor program the same year as they start. So I just encourage to apply as early as possible. Now I don't know where you're from, so it might be that you have to get the visa and everything. So just start as early as possible. And then, yeah, absolutely. We usually, for master students, if it's a qualified applicant, then we would give a conditional offer. Condition then being that you complete your degree by study start. So that's no problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Kristine. Okay, maybe here I think the specifics will need to be answered particularly. I have done my Bachelor of Law with a major in corporate law, which is a 5-year degree. Am I eligible to apply?
I would say get in contact with me, because it depends a little bit on the courses that you have taken. We don't really have a law program in English or anything that's related to law in English. So I would advise you to just, shoot me an email, and then I have to kind of see your transcripts before I can answer that question.
Of course. Thank you, Kristine.
Yeah.
This question, I think it is for Aditya. Okay, here it is. Was it easy to find a job at the beginning of the course? How does the university support with that at the beginning?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So answering the first part, how does the university support? So we have a career portal at BI that's like independent. BI doesn't have to do anything. The companies come and post their application, and student can go over there and have a directly contact them. So that's how I found I think all the 4 of them. So I was thinking 3, but no, all the 4 of them I found it from there. And no, it's not easy, of course, because you're coming. So I was changing my course from engineering to management. So that also was one point of challenge. Second, of course, because of COVID, the market was not very like happy to hire you all the time. So it was again challenging on that part. But the best advice is to be proactive. Start applying as soon and don't be afraid of rejection. So I got like so many rejection. After that, I got like those 4 companies. So go ahead and don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you very much, Aditya, for encouraging all of our participants today. The questions just keep coming in. This question says, what are the requirements for a master's in business analytics and how many integrated internship programs does it have?
I think getting into very detailed about the admission requirements would be a little bit complicated in a webinar. So all of the information on our admission requirements you will find on our website. Again, if you want to know if you qualify and you have your papers, contact me and I can guide you. It's very detailed on our website about admission requirements, but just in the business analytics program, Aditya is, he was an engineering student coming in, but we also have business students coming into the program. So it's a mix of business students with a business background and an engineering or a technical background, or tech background, STEM background, I should say. So it's a mix of them. And sorry, the last part of the question was?
How many integrated internship?
Right, so one for one semester. So Aditya, you did two, but you arranged one by yourself, right? And one was through the program. So you can have one internship that gives you credits as a course in the program. And that's for most of, not just for the business analytics program, but for most of our master programs. You can have an internship in the third semester. So in the second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Kristine. Someone is asking to share your email address again. So I am putting it on the chat. You will see it right now.
Perfect. Yeah.
For whoever needs to contact her personally. Okay, let me see. Okay, here it is. Is it helpful to have an experience for admissions to be admitted, I guess, in any specific program?
Like a work experience, is that?
I guess, I don't know.
Okay. No, so all of our master programs are pre-experienced masters. I would say the most advantage is not necessarily in admissions, but it's for your personal advantage in the program, because I think as I said, a lot of the students that go into our programs already they come straight from their bachelor degree. So they come in fresh with the academic knowledge, but then you have a group of students who have worked for a couple of years who come in with a different kind of experience. So it's a good mix of students in the programs. So I would say it depends. It's not the one is better than the other necessarily, but in terms of admissions, it doesn't necessarily give you an advantage because we don't look at work experience. We look at your academic records.
Okay, thank you, Kristine.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question for the Master in Business Analytics. Specifically, this question adds on, what will the fee be for this specific program? I don't know if you have that information handy or.
Well, I do. It's around. It depends a little bit on where you're from. So we have now. There's one price for students from the European Union, and one price for students outside the EU. I believe the price of the program for students outside the EU is approximately 150,000 NOK a year. Mm-hmm. So that's around 15,000 euros per year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kristine. Of course, we still have some minutes for this Q&A section. So if the rest of the participants have more questions, you can add them onto this list right here. Oh, okay, we have a question. Maybe Aditya, as a former international student, can answer this. Is it expensive to live in Norway?
Yes and no. Yes, outside, when you're like as a student, it's not that expensive because everything is subsidized. All like I'm not sure about that if that is mentioned or not, but there is a thing called student slippet where a lot of activities are arranged. You get food subsidized. You get like, of course, you have the library, so you don't have to worry about the books, and also the Oslo library where you can issue the books for free. So as a student, the travel is subsidized. So most of the things are subsidized. Your living is subsidized. So even if it's expensive outside for a student, it's still manageable.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm from India and I will be completing my undergraduate degree, I guess, in June 2023. So when can I apply for a master's? I think what will be the next intake after June 2023?
23, like this year. So we have one intake a year. So that's it's always in August. Middle of August is when the semester starts. So the application process actually opens in November the year before, and then we have a priority deadline of March 1st. I do encourage to apply as soon as possible with the application, with the transcripts and the documents that you have up until now. So if you complete this year, I would say as soon as possible, I guess. If you complete in 2024, if it's next year, you can apply from November this year.
Okay, so November it is. It will be at least the first date available. So here another question: is there any program related to BHM? Because I have a 7-year experience with a bachelor degree. I'm not sure.
I'm not quite sure what that is, to be honest. Sorry.
Okay, so maybe if this participant was to clarify which kind of program is referring to, I will be happy to look at that. Okay, so we do have a lot of questions about scholarships and the free education policy in Norway. So I don't know, Kristine, if you want to.
I can very briefly. So BI, we do not have any scholarships for students outside the EU. Unfortunately, it's a new policy from this year. And it's not a choice by BI, I just have to say that. But the Norwegian government has recently, or this year, introduced tuition fees for international students outside the EU in public universities. Previously, public universities in Norway used to be free for international students from all over the world. This is not the case anymore, unfortunately. BI has always had tuition fees because we are a private institution, but the consequence of the government introducing or implementing tuition fees in the public universities, we are no longer allowed to award scholarships to students outside the EU. And this is also why there's a difference in the tuition fees for students outside the EU and students in Europe. So that's a very short answer to that. So for students outside the EU, unfortunately, we don't have any scholarships. For students inside the EU, we do have scholarships. And all the tuition fees and prices are on our website for all of the programs. There are some slight differences depending a little bit on the program. So that's a very short answer to that, I guess. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I just put together all the questions regarding these topics for you to answer them all at once. So if we want to put the website where they can find the information about the fees programs on the chat. So
yeah, so it's bi.edu. Very straightforward. Okay. So all of the information you need is on bi.edu.
Okay. Okay, it's
Yes.
already placed in the chat.
Yeah.
So we have a question for Aditya. Was your part-time job able to cover all of your expenses?
So apart from the tuition fee, I think it was I was able to cover my living expenses, food, and all other expenses. So yes.
Mm-hmm. So it was enough with a part-time job to support your student life.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Aditya. And we have another question. Do you need to be fluent to study in the university? I'm not sure if the participant is referring to Norwegian or English.
I assume, well, you have to be fluent in English for sure. You have to be very confident in English, but Norwegian, no. So you don't have to know Norwegian. We always, like Aditya mentioned, we offer Norwegian courses. Now they're actually free. So you don't have to pay anything for the Norwegian courses. They're not part of the curriculum, but they're offered on the side. And I think most of the international students will take the Norwegian courses. So we do encourage you to learn the basics, but you can easily live in Norway for a long time without knowing Norwegian. But I think anywhere you go, you should learn. If you live in another country, you should learn the basics of a language. But it's not mandatory to know Norwegian, no.
Okay, and also knowing the language is the best way to know a different culture. Right?
Yeah.
How was your experience in that, Aditya?
Oh yeah, that's definitely one thing. To learn the language, highly recommended. But of course, for studying, for job market, it's nice to have. But I found all my job and internship without knowing Norwegian. So, and also few companies like the company which was Pharmacy, it is entirely Norwegian speaking. So they encouraged me and they said they'll pay for the classes so that I can be fluent at that time. So yeah, they support you, but yeah, of course, it's nice to learn the language any day.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much for sharing the experience. I have another question for you, Aditya. Will it be hard to find a job after the master's if you have a little work experience?
I had like 1 year experience in India, but to that answer, like no, it's not that hard from what I've seen around my friend circle. Everybody found a job in my course. I only know about my course, so everybody had the job like 3 months before they're completing the masters. Almost they had the job. So with the experience, it's good because it's easier to get the jobs in the job market. But even with no experience, the education is good enough, and BI is marketing us well to get a job there in the market.
And I'd like to add to that. And BI is very, and you mentioned it, Aditya, but companies know what our students can do. Like they know our curriculum very well. In many of the programs, they've actually, been a help in developing the curriculum as well in the program. So the companies, they know what they get with our students. They know that our students can apply their knowledge once they get out in the work life. So our students are very attractive on the job market, and very often, maybe not in the most technical jobs, but in many of the more business related jobs, very often the person sitting across from you interviewing you for the job may very well be a BI alumni. So there's a lot of BI has a big as a big stretch in the Norwegian society. We're very visible in Norway. Everybody knows us. So our students are very, very attractive on the job market. So just wanted to add that too.
Yeah. Just to add one more point on that, since you mentioned that. So companies, BI has collaborated in a way that our exams, which were conducted, were based on actual data from certain companies or certain projects. So most of the time after the exams were completed, we came to know, okay, this company has this data in the project. So you were working on the actual real-time project for a company during your exam. So the companies knows our course structure very well.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much to both of you. We have another question about the business analytics program. It seems to be very popular tonight. Is there any exam like GMAT, GRE, or MAT required for the business analytic program? I think it seems a little bit specific. I don't know. Maybe
I need to see I think I just need to.
As the last question on the list.
The GMAT. Okay. MAT, I'm not sure what that is, but GMAT, GRE, for any of our programs, you are required to have a GMAT or a GRE for the master programs. There are exemptions, and again, instead of going into the exemptions, we don't have time for that, but there are some exemptions on our website as well under admission requirements, so you can go in and have a look. But yes, we do require a GMAT or a GRE. MAT, I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
But we don't require it. I don't know it, so we don't require it.
Okay, thank you, Kristine. We have another question for Aditya. To keep on talking on your experiences as an international student in Norway. Do general people welcome you, or discrimination happens if you're from outside of Norway?
Okay, so here in Norway, diversity is taken very seriously, whether it be BI or anywhere outside the companies or also outside in the street. So until now, I have never felt like I was out of place. I was always welcome. And no, I have not heard from anybody such as like complaining about discrimination or discriminating on basis of your color or anything. So in that sense, it's very nice to be.
Okay, thank you, Aditya. Do you find it that at the BI campus or the BI community there was a diverse community?
Oh, yes. So actually, my class, I think it was around 35% Norwegian people, and then the rest, mostly it was European and people from outside, like all over the globe. So we were quite diverse in that sense. Also, the teachers, the professors are from different parts of the world. So BI especially is like completely international.
Okay, that's very interesting and very enriching, because I guess you didn't know only the Norwegian culture, but you got to know a lot of cultures through the experience of getting to know people from all around the globe, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
And I think we're running out of time kind of, but I just want to, because Aditya and I have had this talk, and I think one of the first times, because I followed Aditya's journey from when I met him in India until he applied, so I followed his whole journey. And I think one of the things that I said to you in India was just use your opportunity while you are at BI. Speak to as many people as you can. You know, be proactive, be active, just be out there. And I think Aditya is a testament to that. And he's been a star. He's been doing everything right and connecting with people. And now he has a global network. He has a job in Norway, and he's just he's a very good very good for us as an institution, as for BI, and just being that global representative for us, I guess.
Okay, thank you very much, Kristine. So we don't have other questions at the moment, so I don't know if there's something else like a final message, Aditya, you would like to leave for the prospect students of BI Norwegian.
So I can just say, like, don't worry too much if you don't know Norwegian. You will get enough time to learn Norwegian. Job market is pretty good and everybody knows BI. And if you're coming for a master's, be prepared that you will be working a lot in groups rather than individuals. So that was a little bit different from bachelor's for me. So be prepared about that and be proactive, enjoy it, and it will be all good, pretty sure.
Okay, thank you, Aditya. I'm putting again the contact information to reach Kristine, and also the website for BI for you to get more information. Kristine, is there anything else? Is there a final message you would like to leave to our participants tonight?
No, well, I just want to say thank you so much, Lucia, and thank you so much, Aditya. I hope you have learned something new today. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. We've certainly enjoyed presenting to you. Yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Yeah, BI is a good choice. It's a good university. You have good opportunities while you are a student, also after you have completed your studies. So please consider BI as your future educational partner.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Kristine. Thank you very much, Aditya, and to all our participants who joined tonight. If any of you is interested on getting a certificate of attendance issued by Docsity, you can send a request to webinar@docsity.com with your first and last name and the email you used to join this presentation tonight. My name is Lucia from Docsity, and it was my pleasure to present this webinar, Opportunities for International Students at BI Norwegian Business School, organized in partnership with BI Norwegian Business School. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. We will be waiting for you on the next free events that we will organize with BI. If you have any questions, you can okay, someone's asking, I'm sorry, for Aditya's contact information too. So I don't know, Aditya, if there's anything you would like to share on the...
You can easily contact me on LinkedIn. I'm active over there. So you can send me a text and I'll most probably reply.
Okay, so you can add Aditya to your contacts in LinkedIn. He will be waiting for you to join his network. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here tonight, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.